Hey everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching Janed playing in the Tier 10 German super heavy tank destroyer. It is of course the Jagdpanzer E100. Now this vehicle, I wouldn't really say it's the most competitive tank in World of Tanks, but boy can it be fun in the right situation, and Janed is going to play his heart out to show you just how this vehicle can perform in close quarters combat. Alright, so why is this vehicle not the most competitive, you might be asking? Well, it's just so immobile, and even though it's got probably the thickest armor outside of the T110E3, it's the fact that the armor is still fairly flat and it's German and it's not curved or it's not ridiculously angled that just it kind of just falls apart when it's dealing with equal tiered opponents and even lower tiered opponents if they manage to hit the weak points on this vehicle. Now what do you have to watch out for when you're playing the Jagdpanzer E100? Well, this weak point on top, absolutely horrific, and also the lower plate of the vehicle is horrendous as well. When you're not angling the lower plate, it's got about 210 millimeters of effective armor when your opponents are at about 50 meters or so. Of course, when they're in close quarters combat and they aim down on it, that can be quite a mistake as the angling increases massively and the effective armor becomes probably harder to go through than if you would just shoot the cheeks of this vehicle. Now, we have talked about the weaknesses of the Jagdpanzer E100. Let's talk about its strength, and that is that it's got the third highest alpha damage in the game. It packs a 170 millimeter main armament with 299 millimeters of standard penetration. And if you're so inclined, you can fire high explosive anti-tank rounds with this vehicle that have 420 millimeters of penetration. That's the highest in the game, period. It's just absolutely ludicrous having 420 millimeters of pen. It means that even a Kranvang turret is going to struggle to be able to withstand the power of the Tier 10 German tank destroyer. Of course, when you're a slow lumbering beast, it can still be quite hard to be able to ask your opponents to stop in front of you for long enough to be able to engage them effectively. And with a fairly mediocre damage per minute of this vehicle of 2,451, it can be rather punishing if you miss. But if you hit, boy, that oh-ho certainly felt it. That is 2/3 of that Japanese super heavy's hit points gone. And 1,149 damage in the pocket of Janed. Now, you don't really have to hit many shells in a game to do really decent damage in a Jagdpanzer E100 if you're rolling like that. In fact, 2 shells and you kind of broke even, 3 shells and you're 50% up, 4 shells and you're starting to have an awesome game. Unlike that Kranvang on the enemy team, comes around the corner, I guess maybe thinking that the Jagdpanzer wasn't going to be able to hit right into the upper hull there, but Janed shuts him down really hard, and that is the Tier 10 Swedish heavy tank eliminated from the game. Now Janed isn't quite loaded in time to be able to shoot the Object 263, and I just heard a camouflage net go off there. Janed, I'm not sure if I would recommend using a camouflage net on this vehicle. Maybe Janed just picked up this tank. Personally for me, I'm always paranoid if the enemies manage to take my tracks off when I'm playing this vehicle, and so I sometimes even take a toolkit or take 2 repair kits just to be able to give them a bit of a surprise, like I would do in a Tortoise for example. Or even, considering how much artillery love to shoot these tanks, I like to pack a super heavy spool liner as well. A lot of different modules that I would prefer to use instead of a camo net. But you don't have to be hidden if you pack a wallop like that. 585 damage dealt there to the Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer that will grow up to be the Tier 10 tank with the highest win ratio in the game outside of the Clan Wars reward vehicles. That's right, the Object 268 version 4, even with the nerfs, still absolutely dominating, at least on the PC. But the Jagdpanzer E100 might have something to say about that. Let's see if Janed can prove that the Jägeru is still able to perform admirably. Now, of course, on a situation like this on Pilsen, the Czechoslovakian map, the Jagdpanzer E100 is just in its environment, and it doesn't look like that Oho wants to play anymore. So I think Janed said, it's okay buddy, you can go back to the garage, you can pick a different tank, and the Jagdpanzer picks up the 3rd kill of the game. But at Pilsen, for this map and this tank, it just gives you so many opportunities to back yourself into a corner to hide your lower plate, and it gives you enough time to reload, and that's what you want. The weakness of the Jagdpanzer E100 is when you get flanked. And so Janed is doing a great job here of making sure he's covering all bases and working with his team to try and stop them from surrounding him. Unfortunately, however, it looks like the Foch B on the enemy team, using the mobility of the French auto-loading tank destroyer, has waltzed his way down the eastern flank and supported a victory there with the ELC even 90. And so that means that Janed, having just taken a huge slug of the Emil 2 with him, is now going to struggle as he's starting to face much larger numbers of enemy forces. In fact, it is 3 versus 7 right now. This is going to be a tricky situation, despite the fact that Yanid has a 60 TP along with him. Okay, IS-3, 1065. That's a 50-50 whether the Jagdpanzer is going to one-shot him or not. And Yanid has got a 4-leaf clover on the side of the vehicle. Looks like he fires a high explosive round there at the Foshbee, and Yanid now angles his armor perfectly. And you can see that the Foshbee just gives up. Knowing that the Jagdpanzer 100 is going to be reloading, the Foshbee is actually going to try and take on the 60 TP. But Yanid rams him. Look at that. He rammed him for 353, which has now put the Foshbee down to a hit point low enough for Yanid to be able to take him out. Awful play there by the Foshbee to lose those hit points, and now Yanid finds himself, after shutting him down, changing his 1 versus 6 now into a 1 versus 5 situation. Now Yanid has to do everything that he can to try and stop the enemy tanks from getting his side, because if they do so, it is surely going to be an inevitable demise. And oh dear, Yanid. The IS-3 locks his tracks down. No repair kit to use to put them back on. There's a WZ-111-1 FT on Yanid's left. There's an IS-3 on the right. There's a 53 TP and a MIL-2 right in front. Surely this is looking like it's going to be Yanid's demise. He is right now in the middle of a tank sandwich that you do not want to be in. And the WZ-111 actually bounces off. The 53 tracks Yanid to lock him in place. And the IS-3 seeming to look for shots down into the side of the hull as they're struggling to be able to go through the side of the thick Jagdpanzer 100 armor. Okay, Yanid's now going to blow the 53 turret off! He ammo racks him, and the 53's turret flies off in front of the WZ-111-1. And now Yanid does something absolutely ludicrous. He reverses the WZ-111FT up the wall, and it looks like the turret of the 53 TP is now blocking the WZ-111 in place. That allows Yanid to finish off the IS-3, and oh my word, just what is happening here? Finally, the WZ-111 actually flips over the turret of the ammo-racked Polish heavy tank, and Yanid's taking a look. Maybe he's thinking the artillery is going to be coming after him. He doesn't have to worry about the WZ-111-1 right now. Yanid going to finish him off with his first heat round of the game, albeit unnecessarily, but in a scenario like this with 9,000 damage dealt and 8 kills, I don't think we can fault him for loading his first high explosive anti-tank round of the game. Oh my word, ladies and gentlemen, that was possibly one of the most ridiculous things that I've seen in World of Tanks in months, but Yanid's job is not done yet. There's a GW Tiger on the enemy team that could be anywhere. In fact, he's right on Yanid's flank, and 470 damage dealt. Yanid on 31 hit points, but there you go. He shuts down the GW Tiger. Did you think there was going to be a heartbreak in this game? I'm very happy to tell you there wasn't. And Yanid picks up 9,500 damage and 9 kills in possibly one of the most fun replays I have seen in a long time. Yanid, congratulations to you for getting through that scenario. When I was watching this, I was thinking, how is he going to manage this? How is he going to manage this? It took an ammo rack of a 53 TP and then the turret of the 53 TP, which actually waltzed over Yanid's hull, and we can see here that he did 32 damage to himself with that 53 TP turret sliding over his hull that blocked the WZ-111, which allowed Yanid to reverse him up the wall, to finish off the IS-3, to finish off the 111, and then maybe get a little bit fortunate that the GW Tiger didn't give him a heartbreak. So Yanid picks up a plethora of battle hero medals here. Of course, the ace tanker for 1,454 base experience. I think about 1,000 base is usually an ace tanker in the Jagdpanzer 100. This vehicle's played so poorly. The one that everybody wants, the Kolobanov's medal for standing alone against at least 5, in this case 6. A Radley Walters medal for those 9 kills. A Steel War medal for ricocheting 4,680 damage, enough to kill the Jagdpanzer 100 2 times over, and a high caliber for dealing over 3 times more than anyone else on his team was able to achieve. This was simply ridiculous stuff. And even without a premium account, Yanid still picks up a profit at tier 10. So Yanid, congratulations to you. I thought you were just going to manage to go down kicking and screaming. I didn't think that you were going to be able to take down this entire game. You were cool under pressure, and that's all that can be asked of a player when they're playing the Jagdpanzer 100. And I never thought that I would truly get to see a tank sandwich in World of Tanks. So that's it for today, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a thumbs up, but if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for another World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this week, 698 of you have voted, and 38 votes are for the Object 277. And so come along right now as I work my way up one of the most popular heavy tank tech trees in the game, so you can see if it's a line that's maybe worth grinding, or alternatively, if you already have the tanks, you can pick up a few tips and tricks along the way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.